guys? Benjamin Almas, Darksmith WordPress. I'm jumping right into this. This is STS 3. This one is going to be like the first video. They're not allowing me to upload the entire length and break it apart as I go like I did in part 2. So this one will just be jumping. I'll put the timestamp up so that you guys, if you want to, you can refer to the other video at that time. The mission, according to mission specs, is an 8-day mission, and I'm going to contest this. Claimed altitude is going to be approximately 147 miles. I'm not going to name off the experiments. What I'm going to do is I am going to just leave links to all of the experiments on the palette in this mission. This is the Shuttle Columbia, again, the Columbia funding. Accounts that are responsible for Lockheed and how they've been propped up in the last 40 years. They are all tied in with the building of Columbia, the District of Columbia, Rothschilds, Corporation of the City of London, Vatican City. I don't talk about a lot of this stuff, the Masonic Order. I grew up in Guelph, Ontario, people. Guelph, Ontario is the biggest Masonic city in all of Canada. We have Masons. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter in my videos. The spider web of Masons, what is really going on under the surface. There are a couple of tells by the astronauts, Commander Jack R. Luzma and pilot C. Gordon Fullerton. The black hole of STS space.
There must be millions and millions of black holes.
I'm going to borrow from the ABC presentation of the STS-3 launch.
7, 6, we have main engine ignited.
Roger, Columbia, rolling there, baby. What's going on now?
Houston, now controlling mission control. Roll maneuver starting.
Roll over on her back.
20 seconds, front looks good.
If you off course, it comes in. Watch it come through that cloud.
26 seconds, roll maneuver completed. 30 seconds, so 1 nautical mile in altitude, throttling engines down now. 2 minutes 15 seconds, confirm solid rocket booster separation.
Roger, Columbia, we confirm guidance converged.
2 minutes 23 seconds, onboard guidance is converging this program. Columbia is now steering for a precise window in space for main engine cutoff. 2 minutes 30 seconds, standing by for 2-engine TAL capability. Bingo converged at 8:35.
Roger.
Sound calm, don't it? Sounds like they're right up.
Let's stop here first. Did you notice the transition from blue sky to black? This is bullshit, people. This doesn't happen from ground view recording device or even a chase plane. I pointed it out in first STS. Notice it in all of them, especially the early STS missions.
Houston, you have 2-engine TAL capability.
2 minutes 45 seconds, I'd call up by Capcom.
42 miles in 3 minutes, that's not bad.
This was the first mission that ABC provided an animation to accompany an orbital insertion. It gives you all the details. It gives you the definition of MECO. You're much smarter now. Now here at 250, I want you to take note of this sun. This is an alarmingly bright, obnoxious light, seemingly meant to obscure. Right, I have issue with this.
Greet us as we open that first payload bay door. The site was as spectacular for us as it was for you, and as you see it in these pictures here, it was truly a momentous event for us, and most impressive. The pictures and the memories don't do it justice. You just have to go back and do it again in order to appreciate it fully. The morning of the first day was when we first got the remotely controlled arm made by the Canadians into business.
I'm stopping right here at 3:50 in the main video. Jack Luzma has just said the morning of the first day. He is about to be corrected by Gordon Fullerton.
Second day, actually, Jack.
This is a tell to me. It's not a huge one, but it's a tell in the timing of these missions. This is not a full account. None of these videos are a full account. Now watch this, guys. I'm gonna try and play about 11 seconds of this, but notice how the camera is rolling around. Presumably this is on the Canada arm. It's rolling around and it's going to show us tiles that are missing on the front nose. But I want you to pay attention to the declination of the shuttle versus the earth underneath, and then suddenly everything becomes fixed together and the earth starts moving. Like it's strange. It's strange filming. I don't, this may be error in perspective. It may be error in my perception of this. That's fine. It just seems very strange to me. Watch this.
Arm up and got it over to the
right here.
Watch. And looked along on a
kind of locks on, here, and then we start rolling with the earth.
However, those were relatively insignificant, as it turned out.
Experiments in the cabin to take care of. This is the plant growth unit that operated perfectly through the entire mission. We would read the temperature in the 6 plant growth compartments 3 times a day and read those back to the ground. One of the things that you would all enjoy is the ability to manage packages very readily and easily.
Now guys, you know what I think during mission scenes that they're providing you inside the shuttle. I believe they are being filmed in a zero-G plane. The maximum time you could be in free fall for zero-G simulation is 1 minute 10 seconds. I believe. I'm gonna look it up, but if you notice between each of these scenes that are coming here, especially the one where he goes below and he's about to reascend back up the stairwell, it cuts out there while he's in the doorway. This is a serious tell to me.
3 times a day and read those back to the ground. One of the things that you'd all enjoy.
Watch right here.
Manage packages very readily and easily.
Did you guys see that? They tried to make it seamless, but they can't.
Packages very readily.
Boom. See it?
No need to set anything down.
That to me is proof of the zero-G plane usage. Just a couple of things that they make note of. Running water in the hygiene area. I just want you guys to check this out.
We had a hygiene area in which we could wash up, shave, brush our teeth, and so forth, and we had soap and running water, so it was very easy to keep yourself clean. And
now right there, did you see him reach over and push that button? I'm assuming that's a button to start a motor that forces water into the tubes, perhaps? Let's have a look here.
Here's a picture of Gordo establishing himself in that area. And why don't you move the coat there, Gordo, and get it out of the way? Thank you. And of course, one of the things Gordo...
Yeah, you see those white hoses with what looks like strange black connectors on the end. They may very well be hoses that transport the water under motor. Of course, we hear nothing beyond the narration. This is my issue. Without proper audio, there's just no way to determine certain things. So we'll move on here.
Eating was a real pleasure. Of course.
See, now that's nothing new. We've seen all of the live ISS. All of you millennials out there who have seen the ISS footage. It looked like a cheese curd or something, but he popped it into his mouth 0G style, and everybody laughed. You need to understand, this is like an absolute first for everybody. This is all new. It's all dubious though. And the length of these cuts are no longer than 1 minute and 10 seconds before they either seem the same scene together or they cut to an entirely different scene in 0G.
Float around, and when you want them, you just grab them out of thin air, and you can eat standing on your head or however you please.
When you say eating was a real pleasure and you hear it from Jack Lossman, you can believe it.
Yeah, they're gonna get laughs out of that for the next, until STS 100. It will always be funny watching something float into somebody's mouth. Now here's the first exercise machine that they've shown us anyway. The first ever exercise machine in space, right? In quote-unquote space. It's very strange, this treadmill. It is not an electric, it is manual. And as you can see, they're being held by the waist down to the machine from both front and back strapping. This makes sense to me. As does the mechanical treadmill as opposed to an electric treadmill, which they've now adopted on ISS missions and shown us. It seems more logical to me that under the momentum and movement of the legs of the astronaut, the treadmill will run, not the other way around in 0G. Just a thought. Now, it seems to me that these NASA presentations that happen and all of what they've compiled from their videos, and of course these are cut scenes and this has been stitched together, and then of course a manuscript of sorts has been written for the astronauts to narrate in obvious chronology and linear fashion with the video that is created by NASA Productions. But it seems that they are they have claimed this to be an 8-day mission, and the only way that they're accounting for this versus the first two STS-1 and STS-2 videos is they're showing us a lot of bullshit that's going on the inside of the shuttle. Inside the shuttle. And I will make note of that because they are spending way too much time showing us what they're doing inside the shuttle versus what's going on outside. And that's the point. Why don't we have, like, if this thing is running at Mach 18 as they claim in orbit, why are we not getting a 24-hour full-on 8 days long video of us circling the Earth? Because we're not, of course. This is bullshit, people. This is a simulator. Let's watch. Listen to the crowd reaction. That's the whole point of this. This is nothing more than a NASA production, and they're pulling laughs out every 5 minutes in every presentation to deflect from the fact that it's all a bunch of bullshit.
That wasn't too tough, so, you know, look, one arm. And if you want to, you can do foot ups.
It's regular Johnny Carson.
Now, if you really got frustrated, you could do this.
There you go. What'd that waste? About 8,000 in taxpayer dollars right there? Now, look above this closing door. Let's go back for the second because it doesn't show us much here. But this is another absolute fraud. Okay, you see the arch of the Earth there? You can see it above this door, midsection of the door. Do you see the dramatic arch that we are being given here? Now with that arch, imagine the size of the ball of the Earth. Now look at how fucking high the shuttle supposedly is in orbit compared to that. We're not 147 miles up here, according to this obvious footage. We are at least 5,000, perhaps 6, 7, 8,000 miles high. Think about it.
The Holloman Airport at White Sands, Northrop Strip there.
They're landing at White Sands on the Northrop Strip.
Here at Holloman Air Force Base, we provided lots of support for the whole operation there.
The entry was as spectacular as the boost was in terms of dynamics and sensation and excitement and high adventure. It was a machine that slowed down from 25 times the speed of sound to 0 in about 25 to 30 minutes, and it felt like it just had the brakes on all the way, and we had one of the most spectacular quick tours at low altitude and high speed of the United States anybody will ever have. The airplane was flown manually from about 40,000 feet down to about 10,000 feet. Here's a picture out Gordo's window of what he saw from inside.
We're just rolled into the right bank, turning a 90-degree turn from our approach.
We have no tangible verification of orbital insertion ever. We never get footage of actual threshold crossing into higher altitude atmosphere. Never.
To final approach, and as you see the White Sands.
Again, there's no sound, people, because audio will completely bust them.
The landing and the rollout. We used the whole runway, although we didn't have to. It would have been possible to have stopped more quickly. We assisted the ground personnel in securing the spacecraft and shutting down some of the systems. Finally, they decided to let us out, in spite of the fact that we wanted to stay a little longer, and met the sunshine there at the White Sands missile range. And we apparently picked the right time to come because the wind kind of abated and let up for us, although it picked up later. The support at White Sands was incredible, and it was a great team effort with NASA, contractor people, and the Department of Defense to provide landing opportunity there in a very short time. So it's a tribute to our whole American team for the way that the final part of our flight worked out. And, we just used very light braking and could have stopped it much more quickly.